All right, let's look at our first video, why study infection control. Please listen closely and we'll go into our ebook. Now, what just happened? Oh my. Okay, hold on, y'all. I clicked off the wrong page.
Picture a construction site without helmets, or a restaurant where the chef doesn't wash their hands. Seems kind of ridiculous, right? Safety practices are in place across many industries to help keep the workers and the customers safe. And in the beauty industry, that means paying special attention to infection control. There are several different agencies that establish rules and regulations for beauty professionals and their workplaces. On the federal level, OSHA enforces workplace safety and health standards, while the EPA controls chemical products like disinfectants. As we dive in a bit closer, we can see state regulatory agencies, including licensing agencies and health departments, enforce the federal and state rules. It's important to abide by their rules and regulations to make sure you run a safe business. Salons, barbershops, and spas see a rotating number of people come in and out, so it's important to properly clean and disinfect tools or instruments that come in contact with clients. Bacteria can multiply like crazy, and some can even grow up to 100 times its size in a second. But by learning proper infection control practices, as well as what to watch out for, you'll be able to create a safe, clean environment for your coworkers and your clients.
All right, that was just a nice introduction. As we get ready to move into infection control, you're expected when they come into that salon or spa setting to already have a place of cleanliness. You'll find there are 3 kinds of clean as we're getting ready to look at right now. Stay tuned. Loading. Please take
3 kinds of clean. One of the first things you learn as a beauty pro is that you have to be clean. I'm not talking about being neat. I'm talking about your hands and your tools, your nippers, your shears, everything. Squeaky clean. A level of sanitary that sends germs and their nasty bags packing. Why this obsession over germs? Because germs can make you and your guests sick. Not to mention what they do to inspectors if you leave some, lying around. I'm just saying, you don't want to go there. So what do we mean by clean? Seems simple, but in reality, it's a little more complicated. That's because some words like sanitation mean different things to different people. Take regulators. They use sanitation as a catch-all to cover all 3 levels of infection control: cleaning, disinfection, and sterilization. The big difference, what they do to germs. Cleaning kills some germs, disinfecting kills most germs, and sterilizing, well, let's just say those little buggers don't stand a chance. Let's go back to beauty pros. All day long we clean dirt and gunk from our hands, petty spas, and stations. Why? It's not just to have a tidy station and clean hands. Nope, we go one better and clean to prevent germs from spreading. They love to find new places to hang out. Our job is to make it hard for them to find a place they can call home. Otherwise, bacteria grows and people get sick and cancel appointments and, well, you know the rest. There are 2 ways to clean. Soap and water work best on hands and skin. All-purpose spray handles the dirty work on most surfaces. That brings us to the second level of infection control, disinfection. You disinfect non-porous or non-absorbent implements like nippers and shears by washing them, then submerging them in an EPA-registered broad-spectrum disinfectant. This is potent stuff. It kills almost any living thing that's too small to be seen, like bacteria and viruses that might be lurking on surfaces or bristles. Its mission? To destroy those tiny troublemakers before they spread diseases like TB, HIV, and pneumonia. So don't be shy about using the disinfectant. Just be sure to follow the timing directions on the label so it doesn't wreck your tools. Okay, back to the third level of infection control, sterilization. It's lethal, and by lethal, I mean it kills all microorganisms, including spores, dead. Salons, spas, and barbershops in some states sterilize any implements that invade the skin, especially around the face and nails. That includes tweezers, clippers, or anything that nips or cuts tissue. The reason? Sterilized implements prevent the spread of infection and keep your guests safe. The thing is, sterilization requires special equipment like an autoclave. That's why most shops use pre-sterilized disposable implements and disinfect the reusable ones. So let's recap. Cleaning cleans skin and surfaces and prevents the growth of some germs. Disinfection kills most viruses, fungi, and bacteria, but not their spores. And sterilization kills all microorganisms, including spores. Listen, if you can keep those 3 straight, you've nailed infection control.
All right. That was good. We're going to go back here. Last note, make sure you have
Kills all microorganisms, including spores. Listen, if you can keep those 3 straight, you've nailed.
All right. Cleaning, disinfection, and sterilization. Those are going to be our 3 levels of infection control. Cleaning, disinfection, and sterilization. You may say, Ms. Cox, why do I need to know these 3? You need to know the difference between the 3, okay? Cleaning is our hands. Clean our hands, okay? Disinfection, we can clean surfaces. Sterilization, a lot of us are introduced to sterilization because, you know, we talk about most of the times homes don't have a sterilizer. So, but what they do have is a stove, a pot, and boiling water, okay? So when that water is 212 degrees Fahrenheit, that water starts to boil. And when that water starts to boil, you can put metal implements, you can dip it in that water and it will kill. It is sterilizing at that time. That hot boiling water begins to sterilize the surface of that tool, okay? And so it kills the bacteria and the growth of the bacteria. Cleaning is just going to get rid of what you see with your eyes. Could it still be there? Absolutely. It can come back. Disinfection, it's going to clean the surface of what you see with your eyes. It's also going to go a little deeper. This is what we consider deep cleaning, okay? And it's not going to kill the origin of the bacteria, but the area is going to be cleaner longer. And then there's sterilization. It's going to kill what you see. It's going to be a part of deep cleaning, and it's going to kill the spores, spores. And I do want to put in the chat spores. Okay, the spores are where bacteria grows from. So if you never do sterilization, that bacteria will always continue to multiply. So disinfection just keeps it going for a little period of time, but you gotta kill the spores. That is why when you open up a salon or a spa in Tennessee, whether it's a suite or whether it's a community open centered salon, any beauty business, state law, Tennessee, it's a law. You gotta have a sterilizer. We have one here. They require you to have a sterilizer, which means after you get through cleaning with your soap and water, you need to put that item in the sterilizer, and the sterilizer is going to kill the growth of that bacteria. Okay, so once it does that, then you will put it in a clean container until it's ready for you to be used again. And so everybody is required to have a sterilizer in their salon or spa. And if you're in a barber shop, the law for barbers is every barber must have one for every station. So if there's a salon that has 8 barbers, you got to have 8 sterilizers. All right. That's not so for cosmetology. The shop has to have one. But even if you're going to get a salon suite, that is considered a business that you have to have licensed by the county. The city needs to license you as a business. And then you also have to have an occupational license. It has to be licensed for you to perform those services inside of the business. Okay. And if you're going to go the right way, you got to make sure both of those licenses are in your suite. And if you got those licenses, that means you passed the inspection that they would look for that sterilizer. All right. So just making sure at DCI, even if we are working or wherever we're mentoring at or mentee, where our mentor is, wherever we're doing our apprenticeship at, that we have these things in place, okay? Because as I stated before, infection control is going to be a major component of your state board testing. Any questions? Any questions in the chat? Are we good so far? Okay. We're going to move on over to our ebook. Does everybody know how to navigate? Everybody's good. It's pretty simple how to go in and navigate to your ebooks. I know Tanaya and Danielle, y'all are pretty much familiar with it. So I'll make sure everybody else is good. All right, Chapter 5, Foundations, Infection Control. You have ebook and you also have slide presentation. So if you're not a person that say, hey, Ms. Cox, that's a lot of words online, that's a lot of stuff on books, go to the slide. The slide has pictures and less words. So it's like a summary, okay? So it's something for everybody. Go to the slide. And the slide is always going to be at the bottom of each box. Once you open that box up, you just go down to the bottom. You'll see all the study material for that chapter. Okay. All right. So we're looking at infection control. First thing they have here, state boards and other regulatory agencies require that infection control measures and safe work practices be applied while serving the public. So you and say, Ms. Cox, why do we have to learn all this? Because you're dealing with the public. Anytime that you're dealing with the public, we have to be cautious of infection control, okay? And so I don't know where you guys were when pandemic COVID came through here, the coronavirus came through, but it shut a lot of businesses down and it shut the beauty industry down. So a lot of salons and spas were shut down for months because honestly, no one knew what was going on. And I feel like we still don't know what's going on. They said there's another in coronavirus that's out. Okay, there's another coronavirus that's out. I just know I started sneezing last night, but I think that was from the fan and dust, and I think it's seasonal changes. And I'm gonna be on my ginger tea. I'm gonna be on my ginger tea. I need to make some fire cider. I need to make all my cough syrup. At least get all of my stuff together because I usually make it around October when October month comes in, so it's ready by the end of the year. So that's where I am as far as medications and fighting infection, common colds and stuff like that. Just more organic. But yeah, we were shut down, guys, because we had to learn how to build better practices. And when I tell you, the pandemic was different. Yeah, we all have a lot of opinions about it, but let me tell you, the beauty industry, I believe, came out better. The beauty industry came out better than we were when we went in because now we are on high alert for infection control. Now we are on high alert for not only infection control, but we're just doing business better. Okay, we were a lot of times forced to go to automated systems, forced to have PPE. That's your gloves, your mask, your gowns. We had to have disposable cakes. And, you know, a lot of people in the beauty industry was not sanitary. Okay, and so we were forced, if we're going to operate, we had to get. That's where the barber side certification comes in. Now we got to have it. Okay. So I think on the other side, the barber and beauty industry did come out better. We learned some disciplines. We do things better. We do a lot of appointments now. So it just made better business, I believe. It may have been uncomfortable for just a little while, but it makes better business, okay? And so when we look at infection control, that's what you need to know. State boards and other regulatory agencies, examples EPA, examples OSHA, require that infection control measures, your health department, and safe work practices be applied while serving the public. You are not going to be able to accept money from people, do hair, do facials, do all that stuff without abiding by the law. I see people I've seen people do braids at the bus stop out of order. Actually, you're not supposed to even be doing hair at your home unless you have a license, period. Okay? Because of this one chapter, infection control. I don't know how old you guys are, but I remember in Memphis, I think Memphis or surrounding areas, this young lady was out of school. Mom got her hair braided, crochet. This before crochet was very popular. As they were doing the crochet, I think they were by the fireplace, the hair fell on the floor. Well, when they picked it up off the floor, apparently they didn't shake it enough. It was a spider. That spider ended up biting the child, and the child's scalp got very infected. I want to say it didn't turn out didn't have a great outcome with that child. So which gives us another reason, if we are servicing clients at home, we have to make sure we're in a clean environment. And some of the places that you guys may go and work or get your hair done at or get your nails done at, this chapter should make you start looking around at everybody. It should make you, oh, when did they wash their hands before they grab my hands did they sanitize their hands? Or, the law states that every practitioner, we are practitioners of Tennessee, whether student or licensed, we have to wash our hands before we service anyone. Okay. The law also states that we cannot work on anyone with a communicable disease. A communicable disease means you have something that spreads from one person to the next, to the next, to the next. What's an example of that, Ms. Cox? A common cold. So yes, Tennessee state law states that Danielle, if she has a common cold, she cannot do Kayla's hair. Okay? If Indiana reports Danielle for doing Kayla's hair because she has a communicable disease, guess what, guys? State board can come in, do an inspection, close you down until you go to the doctor and you go before the board and explain to the board why you were working against the law. You're probably going to pay a fine. They'll let you open back up after it's inspected that the place is clean, all that. Who wants to go through all of that? Okay. And because they get a complaint, they got to come. And you will say, because of a cold is a communicable disease. You can catch it from one person to the next. It can spread from one person to the next. I'm just using cold for you guys to just understand. Okay. And so there's other things, the flu, all kinds, chicken pox. And you said, I got to get this money. I got to get this money. None of that money matters. You're putting your license in jeopardy. Okay. So that's how important and how strict the states are. And every state is different. Every state is different. So if you plan on moving point A, point B, check that state out. Some states are very lenient and some states are, harder and stricter. Mississippi is one of those that's a little stricter, what I found on some of the laws that Tennessee has. And I found that California and Texas, they're a little lenient. All right. So it just depends. Baltimore, Maryland is a little stricter. And so it's just different. The Carolinas are stricter than Tennessee. I just feel like everybody is different. I feel like Louisiana is a little stricter. Okay. So it just depends on where you're going, but research how they feel about infection control so you'll know how to follow the law. Okay. Whenever you see these terms here in bold, see that infection control, I've said that a lot. Those are going to be terms you really need to study. Those are going to be terms you really need to study. So you'll always go to your flashcards at the bottom of each chapter. And I want you to put your eyes on that every night. Okay. You got to know your terms. You got to increase your vocabulary. So infection control refers to the methods used to eliminate or reduce transmission. What's the difference? Somebody unmute. What's the difference between eliminate or reduce? What does that mean? Somebody break it down to me.
Eliminate is to take out and reduce is to like kind of cut back.
There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. You did exactly what I needed you to do. Just jump in and give me your summary. Eliminate. Excuse me. We already know. Eliminate. We know what that means. Reduce, she said, cut back. And so let's read it again. Infection control refers to the methods, the different ways used to eliminate or reduce the transmission of infection. Our job is to have superb infection control within our businesses, salons, and schools. All right. And we do that by one, eliminating it altogether or reducing it. And you may say, Ms. Costa, what are you talking about? The video, the video, cleaning, disinfecting, sterilization. That's what this chapter is all about. Know the difference between cleaning, know the difference between cleaning and disinfecting, know the difference between disinfecting and sterilization. If you know those three, you can be hired anywhere. People will hire you because you know how to clean. You understand the difference in those levels, okay? Infectious organisms from one individual to the next. I was just talking about a common cold being communicable. Another word is contagious. Okay, so the common cold, COVID, that was what we think was contagious. Okay, it was spreading from person to person. That's why we had to wear gloves, wash our hands 10, 11,000 times. We had to wear masks, double masks. We were covering up our eyes. We had so much going on, we didn't even know. When I think about it, I said, we didn't know nothing. We didn't know what was going on. Okay, I have a better understanding now, but we didn't know what was going on, but we were just trying to protect ourselves. Okay, it says in yellow, since transmission can also occur when using contaminated implements. Somebody give me a breakdown of contaminated implements. What is that? What's a contaminated implement? What does that mean? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wait,
All right.
I had an idea of what it means. I'm contaminated implements, meaning like when it's debris or oil on your equipment, like combs and stuff.
Yes, something dirty. Okay. So let's say a tweezer, right? We use tweezers. Cosmetology and estheticians use tweezers. If I use my tweezer on a client, and I'm like, okay, that's the only tweezer I got, and now I'm backed up. I never clean that tweezer. I keep going to the next person and next person. The germs and bacteria from that first client is on that tweezer. If I keep using it, I'm picking up everybody else. I'm transferring from the last person to the next. Lord forbid, I get to somebody who has a low immune system. It easily becomes that this person gets infected because their system is just so open to receive. This person could have cancer. This person could already be sick. This person could already be in a place, but they trusted you that you would have your stuff clean. Now, this person is now, dealing with this issue that's going on with their eyes. It's bleeding. It's pink. It's swollen. It's all kind of stuff. And they say, I wasn't like this before. But they're like that because of all the bacteria that's been picked up on that tweezer that was just dumped on them. All right. So contaminated implements, and an implement is usually a tool that's metal, and we're talking about tweezers, and we're talking about extractor pins. We're not talking about shears, but we can be talking about dermablade panels, dermablade tools, things of that nature. And so these are dirty implements, contaminated, dirty implements. And if you're going to go in business and exchange service for money, you need to have not just a talent to complete the service, but you also need to have an understanding of cleanliness. And also an understanding that I'm going to need more than one pair of tweezers, more than one pair of clippers, more than one comb to go to work. Okay. And so it's going to take multiple. And this is where sometimes, hey, I have these. So when I get busy, I can just go for the next one. On my break, I pause, do all this cleaning, and I'll continue to rotate. But because of since transmission can occur when using contaminated implements, we know what contaminated implements, tools, or equipment, that means dirty. When it says equipment, that means your steamer. For example, that steamer is supposed to be wiped down after every use and wiped down before use. So the next person, when they get it, even though they're gonna follow their sanitation practices, if they didn't, that steamer was still supposed to be clean. Okay. Your hood dryers. All right. That's equipment. It's supposed to be wiped down. It's supposed to be cleaned. Okay. Your facial beds, wipe down, is equipment. Anything you use to make your job work is equipment. Your styling station, your hydraulic chair, wipe down. I would say disinfected. It needs to be disinfected. If your clients can touch it, it needs to be disinfected. Okay. It says this chapter provides some helpful guidelines to minimize potential risks and accidents. And here's another thing. This is why it's so important. Okay. Minimize potential risks and accidents. When the client crosses over your door threshold, they are now susceptible to whatever's going on in your business. You are responsible for them 100% until they get in their car. So not only do you need to be licensed, you need to also make sure you're insured, because anything happens to the client, it causes them to go to the hospital, whatever. Anything happens to the client, that's on you as the business owner. If they're catching something out of your facility, that's on you as the business owner. You can be sued. Okay. So not only do we want to have our license, we need to have the business stuff credentials in place, and we also need to have insurance. Okay. That's going to cover everything. So even when you're not there, you have a safety net of everything should be okay. And here's the thing also, it's good to be to have your teams and then have like these sanitation infection control trainings, because everybody is not going to be as clean as you, and you may have a way that you want things done, a certain product you want them to use. So it's good to make sure you train your team on the proper way that they should be A, B, and C. So you guys are considered Team DCI. So this week is going to be us taking theory into practice, and we're going to be in training of how we should present our for our clients, and then how do we present after our clients. So it's going to be big on, are we following sanitation practices? Is the equipment clean? Did we wash our hands? We're going to be big on all of that. And also with the client, do we walk the client to the door? You always want to walk the client to the door, or to their, to the door, and watch them get in your car. And I'm saying this, yes, I'm being a little extra, because you're responsible for them until they get off your lot. All right. And so you want to make sure that you are closing the deal. And some clients would tend to just stand around and talk and just hang out, but their service is over with. On the business tip, once you're done with the clients, walk them to the front desk, reschedule, and then to the door. The door closes the service out. So that gives an inkling of time to go. I will see you at your next appointment. Okay. And so if we don't do that, the client can still linger around and there's no actually opening closing of that service. We just hanging out. Okay. So there's no policy in place. And you want to minimize the risk of people just hanging out in your facility because so much could happen when you get so many people together. All right. And if you have a small space, you can really garner, hey, don't bring any people with you, any extra people with you, or no children allowed. How many of you guys have seen that policy? That's there for a reason. It's definitely there for a reason, not only for protective services, but it keeps the flow. You don't want to be, and they bring their kids, you're responsible for the kids as well. So it's a professional understanding of reducing those individuals that come into the beauty establishment with your clients. It's just a really good professional understanding. And a lot of times it's not us not wanting to be bugged, but at the same time, we want to make sure we have a safe space. And we don't have a lot of space to bring a lot of people in because a lot of people are heavily into salon suites. So there's not a lot of space available. And you don't want to have to constantly keep cleaning. And so a lot of people reduce the activity of extra people in their spaces. Let's look at your responsibility and then we're gonna just kind of take some questions. It's your responsibility as a beauty professional to use proper and effective infection control methods. What does that mean? Proper and effective. Okay. You need to use a cleaning product that is registered by the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency. You guys are at home or at your jobs, wherever you are now. Your homework for tonight, I need you to go into your cabinet, or for today. If you're at home, go into your cabinet. For y'all that are there, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. You're going to go into your cabinet and wherever your cleaning supplies are, you're going to pull out something that you guys clean with and you're going to look for an EPA number. Okay. And I'm going to put it in the chat. I want you to do it now. It is an EPA registered number. Okay. So take a couple of minutes. This is a homework right now. It is homework right now. And if you can take a picture of it, send it to my phone, 901-378-4492. All right. Go into your cabinets wherever you are, whether you're at a salon, spa, or home. If you are not able, you're not at one of those locations, you got to do this tonight, and I need to see it by in the morning. But for those who are at home, okay, go into your cabinets and look for a cleaning product. And I want you to get it, and I want you to look for an EPA registered number and come back. EPA registered number. Take a picture of it and come back. I'm going to mute. We're going to come back in 3 minutes. So go. 3 minutes. All right, what you got? I don't see anything in my phone yet. What you got? It was on mute while you guys went and found your cleaning items. All right. iPhone, what is that? What cleaner is that? It's like with bleach. Is that Lysol? Can y'all hear me? All right. Oh, Lysol multi-purpose cleaner. All right, all right. EPA number. Let me download. All right. iPhone, are you able to talk to us? Is it a disinfectant? Tell me what it says on the front. Who else found a product? Who else found a cleaning product? All right. I see the EPA number. All right, y'all. The EPA number states that when this product was registered, whatever they wrote down and said that this what it does, the EPA number, the Environmental Protection Agency states that yes, it does this. All right. Most times when you see a product without an EPA number, it has not been federally certified. All right. It haven't went through the processes. So you made warning signs. I have even used products that did not have an EPA number. Warning sign. All right, I'm looking at my phone. Okay, Danielle. Disinfectant spray. Lysol disinfectant spray. There we go. EPA number. And then this is what I'm looking at. It says kills rhinovirus type 39, influenza A virus, H1N1 on hard non-porous surfaces in 30 minutes. Also, influenza A virus, Staphylococcus, okay. Human type 2 human coronavirus, influenza A. And so herpes simplex virus 1, 2. Yeah. Salmonella. Yeah. So the Lysol spray, it tells you exactly what it kills, okay? The Lysol spray and the disinfectant spray, when you look at the front, it tells you exactly what level of cleaning it is. It's disinfected. And I'm looking at Danielle. I'm going to go back to Teresa's. says disinfectant, all right? So it's a chemical process. Here's disinfecting on the screen. A chemical process for use with non-porous items that uses specific products to destroy harmful organisms, including bacteria, viruses, and fungi, except bacteria spores, all right? The only way you can kill bacteria spores is through sterilization. So this Lysol, it would be great to be used in the salon, in the spa, in your home, because it kills so much on hard surfaces. So you can spray this and come back in and wipe, okay? Same, instead of using the spray, you're in a wipe format. So that's good, good job. And then we have Clorox multi-surface cleaner with bleach. Okay. And so we have the EPA number for that. This is also considered disinfectant. Okay. So good job, you guys. I got something special for you. Remind me tomorrow for those two individuals that went ahead and sent what they were supposed to send. I appreciate you. Thank you for your cooperation. And so you got to look at your stuff, y'all. Y'all cannot just be buying stuff because it smells good. This is what one of the state board inspectors used to tell me. He's retired now. But he said, when I walk into a school, I do not want to, or a salon, I do not want to smell Fabuloso. I was like, what? You know, because we think, you know, Fabuloso and hot water is, that's what it is. It got it going on. He was like, I don't want to smell that. He said, I don't want to smell that because you have certain individuals that have sinus issues. They can't take strong scents. The same people that can't take strong perfumes, they can't take those strong scents when it comes to cleaning as well. And so you got to be very careful with that. And so that was, even though that wasn't a state law, but he was grading you hard if he walked in and smelled your place full of bleach. Normally you was like, it's bleach. I want to smell that to know that it's clean. It almost was like too much of an overload for the respiratory system. And so we got to be mindful of that. We don't want to just do stuff just to be doing stuff. Okay, we got to make sure that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. Okay, got to make sure we're doing what we are supposed to be doing. So I'm excited about that. I want you guys to know, here's the fact. You say, Ms. Cox, why are you stressing certain things, especially this chapter? Y'all, my job is to get you over to the other side. I got to make sure that when you leave here, you represent, okay? We have the Barbicide wipes, and I'm going to talk about the wipes tomorrow. We have the Barbicide wipes, okay? Particularly, I choose Barbicide wipes. You are supposed to be using in your salon or spa, definitely at state board, you are supposed to be using your disinfectant, and the disinfectant must kill 3 things: viruses, bacteria, and fungus. Okay, viruses, bacteria, and fungus. Y'all, did you know that most of them disinfectants on that aisle at the grocery store, most of those disinfectants do not kill all 3? You're gonna get 2, but you're not gonna get all 3. So in the salon or spa, we gotta have one that kills all 3. All right. So that's why Barbicide, we had tons of Barbicide when pandemic came, and people were out trying to get cleaning stuff. I didn't need to buy anything. I just came to the school and got what I had off the shelf. My students met me at the school. They brought their containers, and we did what we had to do. We didn't have to buy anything because that Barbicide, it killed viruses, it killed fungus, which is fungus, and it killed bacteria. And even on there, just like with the Lysol, it said it killed coronavirus 1 and 2. All right. And so that's what you got to really, know. The industry holds you has to hold you at a certain standard. And when it was time to just, go through that pandemic and, everybody's racing to the store for Clorox wipes and this and that, we already had it in the salons because we were already using things on that level of infection, that higher level of infection control. So, yeah, those are the barbicide wipes. We do have the barbicide you can spray as well. And they're already going to be a protection. When you go to State Board, you will need to purchase or bring something that is that's going to satisfy that 3 criteria. It needs to be something that can kill viruses, fungi, and bacteria all together. All right. So it needs to be those 3 at the end of the day. All right. So even when you guys are moving into your salons and spas and suites, if you're in one right now, make sure that you have what you need to make sure you stop prevention of germs and bacteria, disease, infection in your salon setting. Right. Any questions? Any questions? All right. All right, guys, I'm gonna pause because we've been on for about a good hour and 15 as far as getting started. We've been on since 10, but I don't want to overwork you. Your assignment tonight is start reading chapter 5, particularly learning the difference between cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, and sterilizing. Okay? Learning the difference between cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, and sterilizing. All right. If you want to stay on, that's fine. I want to show our new students. I want to log on to the school's Facebook page. Okay. I want to show you the school's Facebook page. I want to take any questions for clocking in home base. For any of our new students, including Teresa, Indiana, Pooja, Kayla, were you guys able to clock in this morning? Are you in the chat? Were you guys able to clock in this morning? Please. Okay. Teresa, your iPhone, right? Make sure I'm talking to the right person. Okay.
I had to
All
break
right.
off my iPhone today, but usually I use my laptop.
Okay. All right. I will make sure you guys get clocked in. And then tomorrow, I'm going to run through you being here. But if you got the notice about, hey, welcome to the DCI team, that's your clock in. You need to download that app. Just follow the prompts, download the app. And every time that we are jumping in class, you are clocking in. Okay. Every time you come into the building, you are clocking in. And so although I am taking note, we record heavily. And in the building, we also record, and we're digitally recording. I have to send this over to Miss Richardson every day. Okay. I want you to get used to clocking in yourself. Okay. So this was just the first go round. We'll take this week, let y'all get adjusted to it, but I want you to go full speed ahead of clocking in, and we will supervise that clock in on next week. Okay, so we're gonna just get used to it this week. I don't mind jumping in and we're running back through it, but that's what we're going to do. I just want everybody to get familiar with the clock in. Everybody is going to go to their foundations book, and you're going to start reading chapter 5 if you haven't already started. Particularly in the morning, we're going to go over infection control vocabulary. That's cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, and sterilizing. We need to know the difference between those 4 before we start to really get into the chapter. Okay. I'm going to stop share. You guys did an amazing job. Thank you for communicating and being very interactive in the classroom. I'm going to now go to the Facebook page. So hold on one moment. All right. Going to the Zoom. Hold tight, going to the Facebook page. And all right, guys, welcome to DCI Academy virtual training. Okay, this is probably going to, the name is probably going to change to DCI Education Group virtual training, or DCI virtual training. So this is our community. We have 47 members. This is a private group. This is a group that consists of teachers, admins, everybody that has something to do with DCI, current students and alumni students. Right now, what's getting ready to happen this week is those students that have passed their state board tests, they're not students anymore. So they will get moved over to the alumni page, all right? The alumni page is going to be filled with education, telling you about different trainings and job opportunities. This particular page is for our active students and those who are studying for the state board, okay? Because this is where all your updates is going to be. You do have to ask to be a part of this group, all right? This is where motivation, you go into files. You should be able to click on some items. I think some items are older. You should be able to click on study guides, all kind of study material, okay? Every chapter you think about, we got a PowerPoint or a study material, all right? PowerPoint or some kind of study material that you can always study. So if you can't get into your portal, I know you're on Facebook, okay? If you're on Facebook, you can go to our group and just pull up some study materials. So it's always something for everybody. This is also where we'll do weekly updates, reminders, hey, school closings or we're open. Here's the promo, all kind of stuff, referral. Yesterday, I dropped something in the group for cash referral. So that's our new program that's coming up. If you refer someone and they enroll, you'll get a cash bonus. Okay, so you'll get cash back into your hands. And so that's something if you know, you want to take advantage of just as they come on. We want to be able to do that. Or you could choose to get a gift card to maybe a restaurant or wherever you want from. It'll be a couple of different gift cards to choose from. But yeah, you refer someone and they come aboard, they actually enroll, you get a cash bonus, or you can get the gift card. Okay. But yeah, this is where we meet. Okay. It is private. You will need to ask to join DCI Academy virtual training. So for my new students, go ahead and join DCI Academy virtual training if you have Facebook. If you don't have Facebook, you're just not a part of it. Okay. We do have a TikTok, we do have an Instagram, but we build communities, and community right now is on the Facebook Meta platform. All right. So you got to do this. Okay. I see Kayla. Approved. There you go. There you go. That's how you do it. Okay. That's how you do it. And so I just wanted to show that part there. Today, you guys may see different things when it comes to tuition. So we have an A schedule and a B schedule when it comes to tuition. Tuition is always due on Mondays. Some of you guys are on A schedule. Some of you guys are on B schedule. Some of you guys don't have a tuition because you've already paid it out. So congratulations to you all. But some of you guys are A schedule. Some of you are B schedule. All right. It comes automatically every 2 weeks. So make sure that you're taking care of that as soon as you see it. So it does not stop you from joining class. We're about to get into a very imperative time where we have to get our practicals down. We're doing, we're moving out of our orientation chapters, and you don't want nothing to stop you from joining class, okay? The only thing that stops you from joining class is we have clock hours, okay? And so in clock hours for payment. So the only way that you're not able to come in class is if you do not take care of your tuition. Also, is that if you are very disruptive to the classroom, we have not had that in years. So I don't see that as a factor ever, but you want to be able to come in, you want to be able to learn, you want to be able to keep moving forward, no pauses. The average esthetician has 9 months to finish, but the average esthetician student at DCI finishes before 7 months. They finish at 6.5, 7 month mark. So I am super excited, and that is the goal, at least for Danielle, because she came in. She's probably the oldest one here that came in, and she's really working towards that graduation. So that's that December 31st goal we want to make sure we hit. And we do have some individuals in some accelerated programs. It's a 90-day program. We want to get them in and out. For my Cosmo, we have a section of apprenticeship as well. So we want to make sure that you stay in, get as many hours as you can so you can start to really prepare and build to move on to the salon practical area, okay? Where your skills should just explode, okay? Because we are going to prep you really good here, and then you're going to just grow from common knowledge of being in the salon setting. So I'm just really, really excited about that. And that's what I wanted to show. There'll be some more things that I'll need to talk about when it comes to orientation, and I will send that over to my new students. But that's what I wanted to do. I am going to revert back to our group. Also, Kayla, I want to show you one more thing. It's like I want to keep showing you stuff. Okay, hold on. One more thing. I need to go ahead and do that. So we have a YouTube. If you haven't already followed us on YouTube, follow DCI Education Group on YouTube. Okay. Follow DCI Education Group on YouTube. It's at DCI Education Group 816. We have 34 subscribers. Yay. And we have 133 videos. Okay. Today will be 134 videos. But you guys can find any replay on any subject, right? Any replay on any subject. So even if you say, Miss Class, I can't miss class, I can't come in. I've had a student join me from the live stream on YouTube simply because she has some internet issues logging into Zoom. You never know. So we have so many videos on just education, different things from aesthetics to cosmetology to natural hair, to last specialty to instructor training, even states continuing education, 8-hour CE training. Okay. And so look at all the videos that we have, hours and hours and hours of videos. I have had an instructor trainee tell me, hey, I went and took my instructor exam, and the only thing I could hear was your voice because I used to play the videos in the car, the study videos in the car. And when I got to state board, she said she heard my voice. Things that I was talking about was on her state board. And so, y'all, this is another study reference, okay? It is another study reference. So it's just, and then infection control, I taught this 7 months ago. So if you want to look and see if anything changed, I taught this 7 months ago. Here's another one where I taught some infection control 6 months ago. Okay. So much. So many. Chapter 2, chapter 3, natural hair, chapter 4, natural hair closing, chapter 3, business retail, taught that 8 months ago for natural hair. Aesthetics makeup study hour. That was a night class. I taught that. So yeah, it's a lot of training. This is an 8-hour training for educators. It's a lot, okay? But everything you need is here. You know how they say everything you need is in the house? Everything you need is here. And if I don't have it, I will find it for you. All right? If I don't have it, I will find it for you. All right. So that's what I wanted to do,